wasn't really sure if I was gonna make this video because of the rain. I've been out today walking, but I'll do it anyway because I've got my equipment and there's the time for that. So black sheep, scapegoats, listen very closely. Listen very, very attentively. You were sacrificed at a very young age. Let me repeat this one more time. You were sacrificed a long time ago. Where were you sacrificed? You were sacrificed because you were born with the light. You were sacrificed because you were born with the light. Now, mind you, you are born with this light in a very dysfunctional family system. So, this light is what has helped them to thrive and survive. If it wasn't for you, all these years, ladies and gentlemen, all this weight you've been carrying on your shoulders, if it wasn't for you, the entire unit was going to go down. You know, there's some things what people don't understand about black sheep. You are chosen on purpose. You are chosen for a purpose. Your mission is as big as you can imagine. But you see, if you're a scapegoat in your family, we're talking about the black sheep as well. You also have to understand that there is so many things that your parents actually, they hid from you a very long time ago. They hid from you a lot of things. So a lot of this activity, what has been happening in that unit, it has been happening behind the scenes. Nobody was supposed to know. The entire family unit, ladies and gentlemen, they're under a spell. I will continue repeating this thing one more time, again and again, until it gets very deep in your heads. The entire family system is dysfunctional. They are all under a spell. Do not blame them when they cannot see what you see. Now, a couple of years ago, I awakened from a toxic family system. And I want to share with you guys some of the things you should expect. I want to share with you some of the things you should expect, what do you really need to do, and how to protect yourself. Now, of course, like you guys already know, I did not have any idea that I was in a toxic family dynamic. I used to feel that thing before, many years ago. There was something wrong. I was not sure about it. I did not know what it is. I could not put a finger on it, but I knew there was something wrong. So, on one particular day, just to give you a small brief of what happened on that day, on one particular day, one particular occasion, I awakened from the narcissistic abuse, of course, like you guys already know. So I awakened from the abuse. After awakening from this abuse, what happened now, I started having this different set of eyes that would look through a lot of BS. I started understanding what exactly was this thing all about. And eventually, it was around a couple of months, let me say it was about, could have taken me about, maybe close to a year, I'm not so sure. That's when I started to see these manifestations of narcissism actually starting to manifest within my family unit. I did not expect this, ladies and gentlemen. I did not know anything about these spiritual glasses until I knew that I was wearing a set of them. So the narcissism started manifesting in family members around me. Not only that, I recognized that actually I had taken some amount of power back into myself. And I was able to call out for the very first time the person that would later on turn out to be a narcissistic parent at the top. And that is when exactly the mask slipped. This entire moment caught me by surprise. I didn't see it coming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter who you are. You are the black sheep in your family. You need to prepare for this moment. You are the black sheep in your family. You have got to prepare for this moment because the moment is going to come anyway. When you're going to be able to start sleeping all these masks off of your narcissistic family members, brothers and sisters, even sometimes narcissistic parents at the top. First of all, you need to understand these people that are sleeping the masks in that time, they're not aware of who they are. Many of them, they're not even aware. The entire team you're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen, they are not aware about narcissism. But you can see it. You as a black sheep, as a scapegoat, you recognize it and you can see it. So what really is happening is, when these masks are starting to slip, the entire situation will become shaky. Very shaky, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be like an earthquake. So it's like you're going to trigger. Your awakening usually triggers a massive, it's like a very, very big shake-up in the entire family system. But we are going to focus on the narcissistic parent who is at the top. What is going to happen to the narcissistic parent at the top? Because there's a very big chance you may first of all flip the family members' masks. There's also a very big chance you may flip the narcissistic parent to begin with. Now, in my case, it was the narcissistic parent at the top. The narcissistic parent is going to go into rage. They are going to rage. It is this moment where I advise you, you know that you're a scapegoat in that family, you need to be very far away from that vicinity. Then the moment you know that something has happened to them, you're seeing them, they are raging. They are in rage. And when we're talking about rage, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about real rage, very uncomfortable rage. It is some rage you are not going to be able to, you will not be ready for it, that kind of rage. You're not going to be ready for that. You need to be very, very far away from these people, as far as you can. So when the mask is sleeping, the narcissistic parent at the top, you have got to be very far away from them, because if you're not, there's a very big chance they will hurt you. There is a very big chance they're going to hurt you. So if you're in that vicinity, they may hurt you physically. And remember that these are people who they always want to get rid of the evidence, you know. These so-called narcissistic parents, they always want to get rid of the evidence. So when they're hurting you, all this time they've been hurting you, nobody was supposed to see this. Nobody was supposed to know. So they used to get rid of the evidence. It's the reason as to why a lot of times when you used to tell people what is going on in your family, nobody would believe you. People, they thought you were going insane. So people they thought actually you were making up stories about your parents. You were actually speaking the truth, but it's because the evidence was very much deep hidden in the ground, and nobody actually would believe you. You wouldn't run to anybody for help because nobody was going to believe you. Those people, they are very manipulative, they are very cunning, and they know how to put up a show, and they know how to bring everybody on their side. Because remember that these people, they operate with a lot of these other flying monkeys who are also within the family unit, within the family system, within the family unit. What you should expect, ladies and gentlemen, you should expect that there's a very big chance you may get hurt. So what am I saying? You run very, very far away from that vicinity. Get very far away. Actually, I would not even advise you to take an action until you're out of that place. Do not call anyone out. Do not say anything until you have left that place. You're in a safe place. Then you can do your job. Because that's what you came here to do anyway, as a black sheep. What you should also expect is you're going to be attacked by the other family members, because remember that this whole thing is working as a team. The entire dysfunction is there to protect each other. So they are there to protect themselves and protect themselves, their images, and each other. So when you actually go out or catch up with a narcissistic parent at the top, there's a very big chance you're going to experience what do they call them, attacks from other family members in that system. So they're all going to come at you at once. So it is exactly in that moment whereby you're going to experience for the very first time who really had your back and who didn't. Because now you're going to see all these family members ganging up against you. Oh, what is wrong with you? You know, why don't you leave mother alone? Why don't you leave father alone? Hey, go and do your own stuff and these things, those kind of stuff. So they're going to try to fool around and to gaslight you because they want to put you back to sleep. So what they really want at this point, they want to make you believe that you have been crazy this entire time. So they want to make you believe that actually you are the crazy one. They don't want to validate how you're feeling at that moment, because they want you to continuously believe that you have always been crazy. Because that's what they always wanted for you anyway in the first place. So they will not validate your feelings because they want you to continuously believe and to register that in your mind that you're insane. So they are going to come at you. A lot of those people, other family members, they will come at you. Is again the reason why I've said, ladies and gentlemen, this whole thing is very, very sensitive. So you must make sure that when you're going to do this, because sometimes I did not plan this myself. It just happened naturally. So I did not plan to sleep the masks of the narcissistic family dynamic. This whole thing happened gradually. It happened naturally. It was out of my control. But fortunately, I was away from that vicinity, very, very far away from them. So if you're a person, you know that you're still under their protection, under their care, you know, you're still living in their houses, take your time. Do not rush it. Take your time, do not rush, because you're going to get hurt. And I will explain to you the reason as to why you guys are getting hurt. Why they're going to hurt you at any cost. The reason is, and we're talking about hurt, it can be physical, it can be spiritual. So if you're into these wizards, they may do some black magic things on you or spells. If you're into these psychopaths, they may hurt you physically. So they are going to hurt you to make sure that this whole thing doesn't spill outwards to other people. So have you guys heard about cases whereby sometimes you had people who disappeared in their families? For example, there were some family members, the father, the mother, the sister. There were some stories playing out online sometimes. And they actually killed a family member because they said something against the family or they did something against the family. They killed that member and then they hid the evidence. Within the unit, the narcissistic parent, probably the father, collaborated with other family members and they actually killed a family member in the unit. And they got rid of the evidence. And nobody outside knew actually what happened to that person. The family members, they actually killed that person. So what I'm talking about is real, ladies and gentlemen. This whole thing of, when we're talking about this whole thing of breaking generational curses and whatever, generational trauma, ladies and gentlemen, you have got to know, you have already been equipped with these materials. You've been equipped with this knowledge, you've been equipped with this information, so you will know what to do when that time comes. But for the most of you guys who are still having questions, this is the video for you. You have got to play very, very careful. Watch everything you're doing very, very closely and play your game very well. So you do not want to do anything that is going to bring you into trouble, cause you immediate trouble at that moment. So you have got to protect yourself. The narcissistic parent is going to turn the roof upside down. And I want you guys to listen to this one very closely. The narcissistic parent is going to turn the roof upside down. Why are they doing this? It's because these are demons you're dealing with. You are not supposed to expose demonic activity within your unit. Let me repeat this one more time. The reason why the roof is going to turn upside down is because you're exposing demonic activity within your unit. And there were some things you were not supposed to get out. These were demons hiding within your family. They were not supposed to be exposed because you saw the things you were not supposed to see. I hope that makes sense. So you are going to see the manifestation. Me personally, this thing manifested with so there was some audio messages I got, and I knew, as a person who was already on that frequency, I already knew what I'd always been dealing with this entire time. And that is what triggered me to detach immediately, ASAP, out of that unit permanently. So the black sheep and the scapegoats, you are going to start making very, very serious decisions. You did not come here to give all your energy into those families. You came here for a purpose, to break a curse, and that is it. When your time comes, ladies and gentlemen, when the time has come to carry out your mission in that unit, you're unstoppable. There's nothing you can do to stop yourself. Even you cannot stop, because this thing now is out of your hands. There is nothing you can do to stop yourself, because the entire project and the entire system is now out of your hands. There is other divine forces have now stepped in, especially post-awakening. There's other divine forces who will step in. You can call them ancestors, you can call them your angel guys, you can call them the universe, you can call it God. There's a divine force that stepped in this moment after the post-awakening. It is out of your hands. So anything that is supposed to happen within those people, within that unit, it is completely out of your hands. You have no power over it. We're talking about spiritually. You have got no power over it. It's the reason as to why it is very important for you to protect yourself physically first. Protect yourself physically and let the spiritual realm take care of you spiritually. Can I repeat this one more time so that you guys understand this? Make sure that when the mask slips, we're talking about those narcissistic family members, the brothers and sisters or whatever, when that mask slips, protect yourself physically. Okay, do what you can. You may not actually have all the resources, but do what you can to protect yourself physically first. And let the spiritual realm take care of the spiritual side of things, because that is out of your hands. So you need to know that there is things that are going to start happening, very irregular things you're going to see, things you've never expected in your entire life are going to start manifesting within the unit. There may be deaths. And this is where it gets very tricky, because I've told you guys most of the times when I'm talking about these things, people do not understand. Where is it talking like this? Where is it coming from? Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about breaking a generational curse. A generational curse may involve actually taking a life. So sometimes you're going to see there could be deaths in that family. There could be sicknesses in that family. There could be a lot of chaos. There could be a lot of, you can name it, everything you know that includes and involves chaos. You're going to start seeing a lot of very weird, unusual things starting to happen within that unit. It's because there are some things that are being settled in the spiritual realm. So it has nothing to do with you. You do not have power over this. You need to get away. The spiritual realm is going to take care of everything. You can call them ancestors, like I've said, your angels, spirit guys, God. The spiritual team will take care of this. You get out of it. Because when people are talking about generational trauma or generational cycles, generational curses, there is things they're supposed to be broken. That is the reason as to why you were born into those families in the first place. There is things that are supposed to be broken. So you were supposed to come into that family to usher in this kind of healing and this kind of energy that is going to actually overturn all these things that have been tormenting a lot of these people in that bloodline. You know what I mean? So your mission, actually spiritually, is a very big one. But the narcissistic parent, like I've said, you will see rage. That is the first thing. They are going to rage. Actually, the narcissistic parent is going to recruit other family members, the other flying monkeys, to rage on their behalf. So if a person who has got a couple of your sisters in the vicinity, some of your sisters, your brothers, or whatever, those flying monkeys, they are going to turn. They are going to flip the switch. Just like that in one instant. They are going to flip the switch on you. They could have been smiling with you yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, but when that mask slips, you have simply unmasked a demon, and they are going to flip, all of them are going to flip the switch on you in an instant. And there's nothing you can do about this. This is where it gets very tricky, because I've told you guys, this whole event of awakening is a spiritual event. So you have no power over this. The flying monkeys don't have any power over this. The narcissistic parent don't have any power over this. This whole thing is spiritual. Nobody has got power and control over this, because I've called it always. I've told you. It's a divine intervention happening. There's a divine intervention. So you may sometimes experience your parents. For example, if you've been a codependent in that unit, you have been a person who has been like, for example, I can give you an example. They bought you a small house, they bought you a small cabin somewhere, they gave you a car, because sometimes they want to hook you with this kind of physical thing so that you will not be able to get away as a black sheep, as a scapegoat. So they might have hooked you with these material things, a small house, a small cabin in the forest somewhere, a car to take you to work. They could have bought you a bike. They could have bought you something physical. That is when you're going to see a lot of times they're going to start asking for their things. So if the mother, for example, you have slipped your narcissistic mother's mask, the mask has slipped. The mother is going to ask you, can you please bring back my car? Leave my car here and walk away. Get out of the house, walk away. It's the reason that's why you see sometimes even these scapegoats, in most of the times during that process, even some of them there's moments when, not always the case, but there's moments when some of them, they actually get homeless. Get out of the house. Who do you think you are? I don't want to see you here anymore, because the demons, the whole entire system is in chaos. The demons are raging. You have seen something you are not supposed to see. You have known something you are not supposed to know. So you have flipped the entire mask of the entire family system naked. So you will be chased out of the house. If you're in that vicinity, you may be hurt. If there's a chance to, they will hurt you, whether spiritually or physically. They are going to ask for their property. Give us our property back and get out of the house. So you are going to see the entire family. Now that is when, for the very first time, that's when you are going to see what you have been dealing with this entire time. So there will be a lot of backlash from everybody that knows your family. The aunties will come around. Oh, what is wrong with you? How can you talk this like this to your dad? How can you tell those kind of stuff? Do not listen to that nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody comes around you, they are trying to tell you what you should have and shouldn't have said. Do not listen to that nonsense. You stick to the mission. Okay? So in a few months, what else should you expect? You should expect a massive deterioration in the narcissistic parent health. I hope my English is right, because you guys know my English is not my first language, so I always try to do my best. The narcissistic parent, their health will deteriorate. They are going to start aging 2, 3, even sometimes 5 times faster than they always do. Some of them, they will be sick. They will be bedridden. A lot of things are going to start to happen with them. So that is the moment whereby it's going to start getting very, very tricky for them at the same time. So the reason as to why I've said most of the times in my videos for the black sheep and the scapegoats, when all these things are happening, you have got to be as far away as you can. Get out, go far away, find a healing spot, and start working on yourself, because the job has already been done. Your job is done. You have unmasked a narcissistic family dynamic. In that entire unit, life will never be the same. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something, actually, before I close this video. It does not matter what they do. It does not matter what they go, where they go. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter who they call. The entire nest has been disrupted and damaged because you're breaking a generational cycle. That entire family will never be the same. Because if the family stays the same, yes, of course, in the early months or years or whatever, they may do the regular thing they've always done. But spiritually, there's something has changed in that unit, because you have unmasked a very terrible cycle in that unit. It is the beginning point of breaking a cycle. Seeing it, acknowledging it, walking away, healing. Those are the steps. The rewards usually come to you on your way as you heal. The rewards start coming to you because you did not come here to break cycles and die. You are going to be rewarded. I've told you guys this whole thing is a divine intervention. The whole spirit team is watching you each and every single day. Is why you have always been protected from day one. So those accidents you saw, you survived. The bullets that missed you by inches, everything you saw happening to you, you are being protected. That's why you're still here. Is why you're still here, because you have always been protected from day one. You just didn't see this. So you have got to best believe the rewards are there. Just do your job. You have not acknowledged it, called it out, blown the trumpet, go out there, find a healing spot, heal and work on yourself, and find your purpose in life. The rest will work itself out, because you have disrupted an entire nest of wasps. You have broken down the entire nest of these wasps. So the nest will never be the same. Don't worry about the whatever is going to happen back there. The rest of the stuff there will never be the same. Things are going to start shifting, but there's something you should expect. So let me know if this video resonates. It's now 28 minutes. Let me know if the video resonates. You know that I do love and appreciate your support, guys. Book a session, Black Sheep and Scapegoats. My email will be found in the description below. Donate or support my channel, Cashapp and PayPal. Everything is down there below. If you would like to buy my merchandise, just click on which one you want down there. Buy a t-shirt, buy some slide-ons, support me in one or the other. And I'll get back to you in my next one. There's almost signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.